we are recording.
This is the second episode, and we'll be talking about tennis, which is a
Yes.
different sport than the one we spoke about in the first episode.
Is it?
And
Okay, dude, let's just get to the point. Okay. I'll ask you a question, both of you guys. What according to you defines greatness for sportsmen? Like the qualities which you kind of base your argument on when you decide so and so is great.
First of all, it's a highly subjective question. Right?
Yeah, yeah, it is subjective. That's why I said what according to
Then,
you.
according to me, the most important thing is they have to have statistics on their side, and then they must have dominated the game for a long period of time. That goes
Hmm.
without saying. I've never ever seen a sport where the greatest of all time was a personality or a sports person who wasn't loved by the people. So that,
Hmm.
yes,
that
yes.
I've
Yeah,
never seen this
correct.
happen
That is
ever.
there.
Never.
Fan base comes with the personality. So the better you are as a person, I think you'll
Exactly.
have a much more fan base. Sachin has crazy stats when compared to Dravid, but still, I would consider Dravid to be a good, if not better, player in Test. Like he said, is your personality, how you carry yourself
Hmm.
around.
So stats do matter, but stats alone don't matter, is
Yeah,
what you're saying. Same thing. Okay, same thing. You have your stats on your side, and the way you speak, the way you react to your fans, the way you answer the questions in a press conference. I used to judge based on all this, but right now, I won't say I'm very open-minded yet, but I'm still thinking when you're deciding greatness. If you're talking who's the best tennis player, it's a very uh, straightforward question. Like if you take it in the literal meaning, you're just asking who's the best tennis player. You're not asking who's a better human being or something. So are these two different questions? Asking who's the greatest tennis player and who's the best tennis player? Because when you
Yeah.
say great, you guys are attributing um, their personalities and their
yes.
game together.
Team Federer or Team Nadal?
You see, I played more like Nadal. I enjoy the fighting spirit of Nadal and Djokovic more because I relate to that. That's Federer is more like he's so good that he doesn't have to have that kind of fight. You know,
He's an artist.
He's an artist. I don't really relate to that. That's more like a Jacques Callis.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm more like the fighter. I like guys who never give up. Take it 5 sets. Take it deep. Wear him down. Run every ball down. But I like Federer's class.
I think when you're talking about who's been the best tennis player ever and who's the greatest of all time, I think they both are the same. But if you
Okay.
specify, for me, that's how it is.
But I was just talking about the technicality of the question itself, because a lot of comments that I've been following on YouTube and a lot of articles I've been reading, they don't consider Djokovic much. There's no question about his game, okay, but there's a lot of talk about the way he responds. He's not very genuine. I'm reading out all this from the internet.
You ask any active tennis viewer or someone who follows tennis on a regular basis, you would definitely hear him saying that Djokovic is a good tennis player, but I don't know, I don't like him. Actually, it's not debatable. He has been the best tennis player in the past decade. He's won more slams
Yes.
than both Federer and Nadal, so he's been the best tennis player in the past decade or so. But then again, people are not pretty. You won't see that excitement.
Yes.
I know it's a little injustice, but then again, it's Federer and Nadal were in the same shoes, right?
Basically, a fan is connecting to the sport because of the player he supports, right?
Yeah.
And if the player is good, he generally gets connected to a lot more fans. So maybe that's why Nadal and Federer have a lot more fans when compared to Djokovic.
If it's not right, you really do suffer.
Oh, well done, madam. You got a smile out of Rafa.
Pro Federer 5 iguales. Primer set. De pie el público del Campín.
Director de orquesta Federer.
Qué genio.
A lot of impulsiveness happens on the court. It is next level. Something I used to think was easy to control if you're a player. I'm like, if I used to judge Federer sometimes. But yeah, later I got to know the pressure is immense, and I was a fool to think.
I used to have this conversation with my friend, and he used to say that he doesn't like Nadal because he's pretty impulsive. He tries to show off and all of that. But when they play at such high pressure, right?
Yeah,
and there's
exactly.
so much at stake. It is absolutely stunning and absolutely baffling to me that they would actually stay so calm. I can't respect them enough for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to defend Rafa or anything, but he's not impulsive. He's aggressive in his attire. Never does anything that's upsetting to an external source. I mean,
But
of
he
course,
gets
he curses
furious on the
himself on himself. That is there. It's only with himself. And even if you are impulsive, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
So why I was talking to these reactions is, so this is an observation, okay, which has been turned into a judgment. This is one thing I've seen common between Federer and Nadal. Okay, when they win an insane rally, they celebrate. They celebrate and they're happy with the crowd and themselves that they got through this amazing rally. The difference I see in Djokovic's game is once he wins beast mode kind of point, he looks at the crowd and his reaction is, did you just see what I did?
against the crowd.
Did you just see what I did? I need to get more attention for this. There is nothing wrong.
There's a reason to it, right? Because I know. I guess when Djokovic was playing against Federer in US Open or in Wimbledon, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the commentator, I think it was Patrick McEnroe who was narrating the whole match, and he said that it's unfair. Like Djokovic is the number one player in the world, he should get at least 25% of the crowd. It's like 99% of the crowd is on Fed's side. I can understand why he won't actually try to get some energy out of the crowd because he never gets it.
He never gets it. Exactly.
No, but you know what? I feel he should just move past it. He should not crib about it. You come behind me, you come behind me. If you don't, it's okay. It's your loss. Even in this year, when the GOAT argument came, he's like, I do so much and I don't think I'm appreciated enough, or I don't have this fan base like what they have.
Mm-hmm.
He
should just leave it, man. My sport is talking.
His whole entourage, like Djokovic's entourage.
Yeah.
I hear such such controversial opinions from his dad, and so that is another disappointing side to the way Djokovic entourage sort of handles the whole publicity of theirs.
Mm-hmm. To be very honest, I myself used to hate Djokovic because he was coming in the way. Like exactly how Federer fans felt when Nadal came in the way. It's a chain. It's amazing for the sport. It's beautiful for the sport that's happening. But lately, when everybody's kind of against him, I feel that sympathy. Like, come on, dude, he's winning pretty much everything.
You were listening to this podcast, you would feel pissed off if anyone were to feel sorry for him and start supporting him, right?
Yeah, that's even worse.
Too much hope.
This is the first time in this amazing era that we have one player who is the favorite at all four majors. Novak is the clear-cut favorite at all four of the slams. He's the best player on all of those surfaces right now. He's at his absolute peak.
Federer has won 15 of his Grand Slam before 2010.
Yeah.
Djokovic once won, and Nadal won 7.
Yeah.
But after 2010, Federer won only 5.
Mm-hmm.
Djokovic won 12.
Yeah.
Nadal won 11. Before 2010, if you consider, that era was maybe Federer's, you can call, because he won 15. After 2010, if you consider, maybe Djokovic, because in 8-9 years he has almost won 12. That's like insane.
In the last 5 years he's won 10. Djokovic in the last 5 years. That is almost as good as what Federer did so many years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you look at the numbers, Nadal is good in both the eras. 2010,
that is an
when he
argument
was
that
dominating.
Yeah, he's been consistently good.
That's the thing where like the fans who come up with videos of why Nadal is the greatest of all time comes with yeah, he was good in that era. Maybe he was not number one all the time, but he was at two and he kept switching between one a lot of times, and he's done the same thing even in this decade.
Yeah, I know, but then in a decade he ends up winning like eight French Opens out of 10. Like,
yeah,
when it comes to the other hard court or
he's
indoor.
good on a hard court. He's won 5 of them. He's won 5 hard courts.
Okay, how many has he won in grass?
Grass too. I agree with grass. Yes, grass is not very dominant, but he's won 2 grass.
And he's won how many he's won indoors? Come on,
Indoor
you cannot
hard court,
defend the argument that he's good in all.
I wouldn't say he's equally good on all courts. I wouldn't say that. I would definitely not say he's good on all courts. But yeah, I don't think he needs to prove that on hard court. Maybe Wimbledon, yes, because he personally wants to win Wimbledon more than anything.
Because Djokovic has won in all 4 surfaces, right?
Yeah,
and he's been dominating. It dominated all the 4 surfaces.
French won.
He's just won one French.
Won only one French.
There's a record, right?
2 or more in
all the 4. I think even Djokovic is falling behind in French, and Nadal is behind in one.
Nadal needs to win one Australian Open. When he plays French, Wimbledon, and US, which are pretty much placed across just 3 months, he's very ready by US Open. Nadal is someone who needs to be in the heat. Yeah, that's why I think for him that Australian Open is a very far dream, that second Australian Open.
There are a few people in the audience would be curious your thoughts on Alex de Minaur, the young Australian, going up against Rafa tonight at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, Alex has done great. I still favor Rafa just because it's Rafa and I love the guy. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup.
I just wanted to tell you one fact. Did you know that Wimbledon tennis ball they used before was white?
Oh, I didn't know.
When was this?
In 1986, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, that recent, not bad. I thought it was some.
That's pretty recent.
Why do you think Wimbledon is considered to be like the most prestigious tournament, even though they don't pay the highest price? I think Australian Open last year was
Australian
highest.
Open pays the highest.
It goes back to the whole tradition.
Yeah, it's.
If you are making the old point, 1878 was the first Wimbledon. 1881, I think, was US Open. It was just 3 or 4 years gap between Wimbledon and the US Open, and 10 years gap for French to come up.
Australian
and
was
then
the newest.
Another 10-year gaps. Yeah, even that was 1905. So
then there is only one argument why Wimbledon is great, because it's the British.
If that were to be the case, that it's only because it's sort of like an English thing. That's why they consider it the most prestigious tournament. Then the whole tennis community wouldn't have the same opinion.
Wimbledon has this rules of white and white.
Yeah, whites. Yeah. No, they have a lot of different rules from other Grand Slams, which I really love actually. Especially the one where the players have to leave together. Whoever wins or loses, they have to leave together. That is amazing.
Okay, that is a rule? I didn't know that.
It's a custom, I think.
The player who wins the tournament the year before would place the first match on the center court. And his whole entourage, especially his parents and his family, are like the royal guests.
Agassi boycotted Wimbledon for 4 years because he didn't want to wear white and white. He's like, fuck you, no, I'm not wearing white and white. When he came back, he won the Wimbledon tournament.
Yeah. That is thug life. Since we were talking about the 3, is it possible for one of them to be the best among the 3, but someone else in the 3 is the greatest of all time? Is it possible that way, or does it not make sense?
That doesn't make sense.
No, that argument doesn't make sense, because you're telling one is the best, but greatest of all time is someone else.
No, because see, okay, I'll tell you the argument that goes there. So Djokovic and Federer percentage is not much. It's like 55-45. That's how he is ahead. Same with Nadal. Nadal is like 50.
Point out something here. Sorry to interject.
No, I'll just finish that loop. You
Okay.
then okay. So then Djokovic against Nadal is also not too far. It's just 52-48 or something like that. It's 26-25 matches each other. And Rafa and Federer, Rafa dominates. When you take these arguments, a Djokovic fan will say he's better both against both of them, just in pure numbers. And a Nadal fan will say that he's close to Djokovic and he's dominated Federer. So easily he's the best. But Federer fan will say that Federer has been playing since Agassi, Roddick. He's been good throughout. So he's had a lot more pressure and a lot more competitors to look for. So you can't just stick with this number. So that way, I'm telling, what if one of them is better just among the three, but overall, maybe it's Nadal or Federer who's better.
I mean,
Is that a valid argument?
Again, so
Yeah.
that's why I say that there have been so many good players along the route. They're not one match per tournament. There are 7 matches. I do get your point, Chintan, when you say that can we sort of pitch them together and then think one guy's the best. And if you want to do that, then just take a statistic and see a guy who has dominated.
Yeah, exactly. I think when we do that, a lot of other arguments can be like quietened. Like we can just say, okay, dude, fine, you pick these three. Who do you think is the best? You think Djokovic is the best among the three? Cool, let's agree to that. But you want to say, oh, he's the best overall? No. So because that's a bigger argument.
So Rafa, do you know what you're gonna give me for Christmas yet?
You know what? I'm gonna come to Switzerland and play an exhibition match for your foundation.
You know what you're gonna give me for Christmas yet? I don't.
You know what? I'm gonna play an exhibition. No puedo empezar, tío. Es imposible que lo diga ya. Okay, you start.
Nadal playing against Team, one of the best matches.
Yeah, dude. That was actually one of the best matches.
2019?
No, not 19. 18, I think, right?
I feel he was playing really good. I think Nadal was able to pull it off just because of his pure fighting spirit of.
I just wanted to ask one question. Are tennis GOAT fans, like if you're a Federer fan or a Nadal fan or a Djokovic fan, only follow their matches, or do they generally follow every tennis match? If he's a Federer fan, then is he going to follow just the Federer games?
There are people who wouldn't watch any match. They'll just come and watch just Federer versus Nadal and go.
Yeah.
They'll just want every match to be a five set match.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I my opinion is that they love watching tennis. They're there to watch tennis.
Okay. I want to know whether you all really, really get on. Oh, Rafa, you look like you don't know what this is.
No, I don't know what this is.
You don't know what this is.
Like the kids do this kind of stuff.
Exactly. Go on.
It's gonna take a while, Rafa. Ooh, this one is the
Yeah, I know.
I think you have to have the right grip from the get-go.
Oh, it's the grip.
Couldn't even get to the pinky.
That's a good job. Oh my gosh.
Oh no! Hang on.
Rafa, by far the best so far.
Are you all friends?
Thanks for putting me on spot.
I have to answer this one.
Yeah. So how much longer can you three keep playing?
I think I'm the first to go. I mean, come on, I'm by far the older guy here. But no, I think it'd be interesting. I think we're all not sure how much there is left.
Now that these guys are pretty much dominating again, still after 10 years, these three. Should we just stop this whole argument about the GOAT and just enjoy whatever they're providing us? Should we become more neutral? Or it's fine. It's healthy enough to go about each other's throats like no. our guy is the best.
Actually, I think I heard commentators saying that that by doing comparison you're killing the essence of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. That I was just about to get the same point. Like if you don't actually support anyone when you're watching a game, then you enjoy the point even more than what you would. Suppose, like you said, Nadal versus Federer, and if you're supporting Federer, if Nadal wins the point, even though they played crazy tennis throughout the point, you'd still be disappointed. Yeah.
Watch the whole thing again. The next day, realize, Nadal played a really good point. I mean, he deserved that point.
It's the human. It's just the human nature. Okay, so yeah, I agree. You would enjoy the game if you're the neutral, but there is also plus side of being a hardcore supporter that when your guy wins, that feel of euphoria is next level. It is equally balanced when your player loses. It's equally sad, but you get that. I mean, it's a process of learning that as you age, you start appreciating your opponents as well.
US Open is supposed to start in August, if I'm not wrong, and they have also cancelled out the disabled tennis and juniors also. Only the men's and women's will be playing. Right?
Do you guys know Djokovic is actually in support of the idea of on-court coaching? They have actually started on the WTA tour.
Okay, I personally feel on-court coaching shouldn't be allowed. That's because once you enter a game, you enter a game. Yeah, you don't come and give me which is the positive, which is the negative. It is going to affect the mentality of the player as well during the set.
Think you can do better? Hell's crying out.
The guy goes in and he himself has to get out of it.
You know the epic 2008 final when it was happening, when Nadal was just cruising through the first half of the game, and the way Federer came back. Federer's best game ever. The best he's played in terms of comeback and control at that level of pressure. The way he's handled that match. Nadal's coach Tony and his father, they all thought that there is no way Nadal can win this match. The level at which Federer is playing. There was a rain delay in that match, right? Tony was like, he knew that he's going to lose this match, and he's like. And Nadal saw that worry on his face, and he just looked at him and he said, Federer may win this match, but I won't lose. I was like, oh my fucking God, that is some goosebump shit. To say at that point, that was insane. I watched this in the documentary, Strokes of Genius. Everybody should watch that. It's one of the best sports documentary ever made, not just tennis. It's so beautifully made. In that, even Federer says that when they finish, I'll definitely post it here. So even when Federer finished the match, there was an interview where he said that when that match got over, he pretty much went into depression for the next few days. He didn't get that he had played such a great game, but later over time, okay, yes, Nadal won the Wimbledon final that day, but you didn't play bad. You just it took time for him to realize that they had created something great forever.
That's how competitive they are, right? To reach that level, you should have that competitive spirit in you to fucking not give up at any point of time.
And then, McEnroe is just like, he can see Federer so sad, right? Then he just asks him one question or two questions. Then he realizes, he's not going to be able to speak for long.
Yeah.
So he says, like, well played. And he gives him a hug. As soon as he gives him a hug, right? Federer just breaks down.
3 and 4, but I missed so many opportunities maybe in the first two that I paid the price in the end, but Rafa did well.
I mean, it's got to be. Listen, I know you're feeling so much emotion right now, and I want to give me a hug. Cause thank you, man. Thank you so much. Okay.
But nothing beats Australian Open 2009 final ceremony, dude. Oh my God, that
was just.
It's too much.
Well, thanks for the support. I mean, you guys are unbelievable. Maybe I'll try later again. I don't know. God, it's killing me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rafael Nadal.
I'll try again. Okay. I don't want to have the last word. This guy deserves it. So, Rafa, congrats. You played incredible. You deserve it, man. Played another fantastic final. So, all the best for the season.
Well, good evening, everybody. Well, first of all, Roch, sorry for today. I know. Yeah, I really know how you feel right now is really tough, but you remember you are a great champion. You are one of the best of the history. You're gonna improve the 14 of Sampa for sure.
As a tennis fan, you're seeing three great players playing in this same era. I mean, that's something else. That doesn't happen quite often in any sport, to be honest. Even 2017 Australian Open final was a good match.
Yeah, it was a really good match. I actually didn't feel bad Nadal lost because I was just happy these two are back in the final. I think it's going to be a good year. They ended up winning the next 6 Grand Slams each, taking 3 each. Yeah, dude, DP. So you are the only one here who's actually played the game at school level and you've done well. So when you,
no.
yeah. So according to you, what is it? Is it the class of the player to turn it into winners, or is it how good you can defend? Like just get into the technical details of how these players do it.
No, man. I don't have so much technical knowledge like these people.
No, but at least
I mean,
like,
Djokovic.
just on the.
I'll tell you one thing. It's to be honest, you can't beat Djokovic if you ask me, because you put the ball anywhere, that fucker is going to go fetch it and again come back to the middle before the ball even reaches the other side. I don't know how much endurance he has. And now even Nadal is the same thing. One Nadal is the best at is running backwards. I think he can run faster backwards than forward. Like, because he plays a lot of forehand, he doesn't play backhand. So whenever the comes to his backhand, he runs backwards and then plays a topspin. So that is like unbelievable. I don't feel anyone in this sport can do that. A lot of people tell that he doesn't play a lot of backhand, he just plays forehand. But to play that also takes a lot of effort.
Now, these three people we are talking about have also posed one more danger. That is, if these three go, will people watch tennis anymore? If they go, what's in store for the future? So now we are coming to the next gen topic. We have a set of players who are really good, who I'm pretty sure would have won 2 Grand Slams each, probably Thiem or someone, if these guys hadn't come back in the last 3 years.
The next generation.
Who would you choose 3 of us as a coach?
No, a lot of pressure.
There you go.
The problem, I guess now people are realizing, is they should stop comparing the new gen against the top 3, because otherwise they won't be able to enjoy the sport.
Yeah.
I've stopped comparing them against the top 3 because I feel like
I've stopped comparing among the 3 also now. Yeah.
You eventually realize that sport is a bigger thing than any individual, and you would like to appreciate the sport rather than an individual, right?
Yep.
So maybe over the years we have seen so much tennis that we have passed the individual guy. We are looking into the sport. There were always one guy at the top, and there would be one more challenger who was coming in, or maybe not one guy, but clear, distinct number 1 and 2 or 3 other guys at top 5. But now we have like 3 people at the top, right? And if not one, there are 2 others who can take the.
That makes sense.
Grand Slam from them.
That definitely makes sense.
There are good players who come and beat one of the 3 or 2 of the 3, maybe Federer and Nadal, but then they'll eventually end up losing to Djokovic. This is not happening, man. How many great players should I beat now?
But Thiem is a guy who has beaten all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Has the potential. Should have at least had 1 or 2 Grand Slams in his pocket right now. He's beaten Nadal, I guess, once or twice on clay.
Yeah, he's beaten him on clay.
Djokovic back and forth. He's beating Nadal. He's beating Federer back and forth. And I know there's a lot of buzz about Tsitsipas, but I don't see that happening something.
More than Zverev and Tsitsipas, I like Medvedev, dude. I don't know.
Oh, man. I like
he's good.
I like Medvedev. He's a good prospect for the game.
I mean, people have suddenly made him a villain, especially Americans here. I just like his temperament, dude. People say that he doesn't celebrate. I like that for some reason. He ended up losing 2 ATP Masters final back-to-back. And he ended up winning 2 finals back-to-back. And then he reached the Grand Slam final.
Victorious. He's a good player, though.
Yeah,
I don't care what he does, but he's a good player.
I know there's this player who's still under 21. There's a lot of buzz about him.
Sinner or something?
Yes, Sinner. I'm talking about Sinner.
You guys are aware that there is something called sports depression. Sports depression is when your team or whoever you root for loses, you just feel messed up for the next few days or until the next game is played. That sports depression, it is a thing, but it is not something that hurts you on your core level. But you really feel like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, it stings, right?
It stings. So I have a suggestion for these fans who feel like don't know what to do. Is like connect to more of the fans who follow the same team as you or the same person as you. Connect to them, look out on social media, and most importantly, tag your players and root for them, because more than you, they are completely broken down, and the players actually feel bad that they let the fans down, dude. That is so heartbreaking. So stick to your team, whatever happens. Share your depression with your fellow fans and try to reach out to the teams and the players who you're rooting for.
Yeah, but that's actually I didn't know about there was a thing called sports depression.
Yeah, nice thing to end the podcast, man.
Yeah,
something which is valuable.
It's longer than the cricket thing we did, dude. What the fuck?
Because you got more.
Yeah, we can. I think we can edit out a lot more.